So, Kelly Malazzi, I had a difficult thing happen the other day. I had a client go out of business.
Sorry.
Yeah, me too. It was really lousy, and it doesn't happen all that often. But I had said to him, the last thing he said to me was funny. The last thing he said to me was thanking me for my help and for trying to turn it around and whatnot. And he said, I really appreciated what you said to me about failure, about how it's okay to fail if you've done everything that you can to control your situation. And I thought, there's some good lessons in there.
Sure.
So, I've been through bankruptcy, and I've been through divorce, and I've been through depression, and I've got all those black clouds that are well out to sea now. But I remember saying, I'm only going down if I've left nothing on the field,
Sure.
if I've given it my all. So things aren't going well. So the first thing, Kelly, is to ask these 4 questions. And I want you to, you know what they are, but I'll repeat them anyway. And kind of put them in order for me, okay? So the first
Sure.
one, 4 questions. Am I making a high-value sales call? Am I making the call on the right target market? Am I working with a prospecting process? And then am I following that process with diligence?
Yeah.
So comment on that. What's the most important?
Well, yeah, they're obviously all important, but I think the consistency and the commitment that are kind of inherent in all of them are the most important thing. But honestly, the differentiating part, am I making a high value sales call? Am I saying something other than I sell printing? Do you buy printing? Let me bid on your next thing.
All right.
I believe, Bill, that there is probably still a lot of people out there that are doing their business this way, that are commoditizing themselves by just saying, the easiest thing for me to do is connect to someone who buys, and I'm just going to ask to bid on something.
Okay.
And that is, I think, more and more and more going to end up with where your friend ended up.
Yeah, no,
which is
not good, which is in the
Yeah.
unemployment line.
Right.
I agree. I think that, because here's the thing, the opposite of that is this. If you're making a high value call, if you're making that call on the right target market, if you're following a process and you're applying diligence, your success is guaranteed.
Yes.
Guaranteed. So if sales aren't going your way, those are the first 4 things you go after, right? Now, the other thing that I'm going to do is, this is one of the messages that I would want to get across in a webinar like this. You're not the first one to go through this. It's not like you're going to show up and, at the bank, and the bank is going to say, wow, we don't have a process for this. We don't have a procedure,
Right.
Somebody else has gone through this. So part of your planning, part of your business plan, business playbook, I guess, is to say, when I hit those troughs, when things aren't going well, I need to, one of those boxes on the wall.
Smash this in emergency.
Break glass. Yeah, in case of emergency, break glass. And okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to call Kelly. I'm going to say, Kelly, I'm really down today and I'm really struggling. And Kelly, you're going to boost me up. Right? You're going to say things, what's motivating you, Bill? Are you doing the 4 things right? What do you think you're doing wrong? That kind of thing. I'm also, if I'm a new sales rep, I'm going to look up to the veteran and I might say, Kelly, can I buy you lunch?
Right.
All right, you're the veteran. Well, what do I want to know from you, Kelly?
Yeah, well, how did you get where you are? Where did your customers come from? Tell me, it's, my 2015 rallying cry is about tell me a story. It's all tell me how you got this particular client. What circumstances were present? How did you meet them? What did you say to them? I want to know everything about how something happened, because once there's success there, it can be replicated.
Right.
There's just no question about it. And what you said about, having someone to call, someone in that break glass in this emergency, it can be a competitor. It can be a colleague. I call them, it's like co-opetition. It's like competitors that you can meet with to commiserate with,
right,
and talk about what's going on and share some ideas. That's extremely valuable.
And obviously, we don't want anyone to get to let it get this far,
right?
But the problem is that a lot of us do. We drag it on. Nobody asks for help. It's like when people drown, it's not that standard drowning where you're sloshing the water. People just slide under the surface and they're gone. Well,
right.
If you are struggling, first of all, you're welcome to call either one of us.
Sure.
But certainly you want to ask yourself those questions. And the best piece of advice I can give you is this. Don't fail because of a lack of effort.
Right.
Don't fail because of a lack of effort. You know, I say to people, it's completely acceptable. As I say to my kids, you know, bring me home an F on your report card, but show me that you absolutely killed yourself for that F. I will keep your mother from killing you. You know, effort.
Right.
All about that effort. And that was the most important thing. And my kids would comment. They'd say, look, I got a C- on that class, Dad, but, you know, I did everything I could. And they'll spell it out and say, okay, all right, you know, I get that. So of those four things, I think the diligence is clutch. Kelly is right, though, that if there was one of those four things that I could pick on to say, where's the problem most often, it's in the quality of the call.
Yeah.
So if you are struggling, hear yourself. Are you selling print or packaging or labels or signage or whatever? You know, or are you adding value, providing value? But you've got resources out there. You should have a safety net built. And before you fail, you know, go through this process like we talked about. So, Kelly, anything else that we've missed here?
No, honestly, I really do think that a lot of it does stem from people that are in the situation that for many, many, many years they didn't have to make a sales call because they had this word of mouth, and then they open the door one day and their biggest customer has just gone and
Yeah.
vanished, and they're absolutely panicking over having to backfill half their revenue. And as we always say, this is about preparation and being in a position, as you always say, know that there's three customers you want to be kind of doing business with right now. I mean, this is really about not saving it for a rainy day, but acting as if today is the day it's raining.
Right.
You know, so it's all about preparation.
Next week, we're going to talk about what if, and we're going to kind of expand on this, what Kelly was just talking about. So we'll talk to you all on next week's Short Attention Span webinar. Thank you, Kelly.
Thanks, Bill.
And we'll talk to you then, everybody.